break. An inside look at the action going on in our state government. It's part of our partnership with Arizona Capital Times newspaper. This morning, Jim Small joins us live, and we're going to talk about the Senate Judiciary Committee that is hearing a bill that would actually loosen the state's gun law. Of course, this happening after the tragedy in Tucson. Proponents say, hey, this highlights the need to bear arms, but others are saying, wait a second, shouldn't we be looking at gun control here?
Yeah, they are, and it's real interesting to see what's going on here. You know, right after the shooting, I think a lot of people have kind of taken a step back from some of these legislation, these bills that would have loosened gun laws, and said, okay, let's take a deep breath, let's look at what happened in Tucson, and let's make sure, you know, maybe we don't want to touch these things right now. But on the other side of the coin, you've got pro-Second Amendment legislators, folks who are very ardent in their push for gun rights, and they're saying, no, what happened in Tucson is exactly why we need to make it easier for people to get guns. That way, folks who are in the crowd, regular citizens, can have a better chance of being armed and then stopping something like what happened.
Now, what exactly is in this bill that would loosen the state's gun laws and makes it for easier access?
Yeah, it's called an omnibus bill, which means it basically does a lot of things. It covers a whole lot of the different codes. It lessens some penalties for people who are carrying guns, maybe without a permit or you know, without permission. It also makes it easier for some folks to go buy guns under the constraints of the federal law. And in general, it makes it a little bit more permissive for people to carry guns without having to register them or without having to get permits for them.
And what are you hearing as far as, I mean, the committee will hear it today, but what is the consensus?
I would imagine it's going to get out of the committee fairly easily. You know, the Republicans have very strong majorities in both the House and Senate, and on this committee, I believe it's 6 Republicans and 2 Democrats. So there's pretty good chances it's going to get out of the committee. It'll probably eventually go to the floor and get debated and move through the floor. The big question, I think, is whether it's able to get through both the House and Senate, and then whether Governor Brewer will sign it. Now, she does have a track record of signing gun legislation. She's been one of the NRA's top-rated folks here. So I would imagine that if it gets to her, she probably will sign it.
All right, Jim, we're going to keep our eye on that one and, of course, keep you updated. Thanks so much for joining us. And a reminder, Jim's blog is on abc15.com right now. Go to the top story section to see everything else going on this week at the Capitol.